Today it's all about the batter. Macaron batter should be thick and slow-flowing like honey. Macaron batter should flow like lava. Macaron batter should fall into a ribbon. Like what? The only people who understand this language are the people who already know what they're doing. I've already weighed out my ingredients using a scale, and it measures in grams as well as ounces. So if you don't want to do the recipe with cups or measuring spoons, you can use a scale to measure your grams. If you haven't already, you can check out episode 1 to check out all the ingredients I use for this recipe. Basically, to start mixing your batter, you want to sift both your almond flour and your confectioner's sugar using a fine mesh sieve. Some people like to sift their ingredients more than once. I only sift it once, and usually that does the trick. If you're finding yourself having to sift your ingredients more than once, then you might want to find a more finely ground almond flour. I also find that a spatula can help you push these suckers through. And to make sure that you're doing this right, you should have a mess all over your counter. We're gonna use the French meringue method.
French meringue, made by mixing sugar with raw egg whites, considered to be the most fragile and least stable meringue. As such, it will usually need to be baked, so it's best when folded into batters to give them lift and lightness. Not safe to eat uncooked. Ideal for macaron shells.
Which is less stable and more fragile. If you haven't already watched episode 2, head on back because I teach you how to make my French meringue method. Okay, now that we've sifted our dry ingredients, we're just going to mix them together a little bit. And then we're going to add in our meringue all at once. Don't leave any behind. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of the term macaronage. Macaronage is the action of mixing the batter a certain way. You want to be delicate and mix it continuously until you get the right texture. When mixing your French meringue into your dry ingredients, you want to turn the bowl as you gently fold the dry ingredients into the meringue. French meringue method is the least stable. However, it creates for a fluffier and cakier macaroon shell. If you prefer chewier macarons, then I would go with the Italian meringue method. Be careful not to leave streaks of meringue in your batter because that is one of the factors that causes cracks in your macaroon shells. We're gonna go further into depth about troubleshooting in another episode. I'm all about preventative measures, so I want to teach you how to create everything right from the beginning so you don't have to go back and fix it. If you take the time to gently fold in your dry ingredients to your wet ingredients, then there's less of a chance that you're going to break your meringue or deflate the batter. There is a small window between overmixing and undermixing the batter, and it just takes time, experience, patience, and knowing what to look for. Know what to look for and train your hands to mix carefully. A sign of overmixing your batter is that the batter will be way too runny and your macaroons will spread way too thin. You'll also notice that there will be a lot of bubbles in the shells. Normally, this is an indication that you've broken your meringue. If your batter is runny right off the bat, it usually means that you mixed your meringue incorrectly. After you lift the spatula like this, the edges of the batter should smooth back into itself within a matter of seconds. Memorize what your batter looks like now, because this is what it should look like every single time. If you're going to divide and color your batter, leave it undermixed before you add color to it. Also, I would recommend waiting to flavor your batters with extracts or oil-based flavorings until you become more experienced. And that's how you mix your batter. Next week, it's all about color, color, color.